Most people who call themselves kind are not kind. They are afraid. Afraid of being disliked. Afraid of disappointing someone. Afraid of becoming the villain in another person's story. So they say yes when they want to say no. They smile when they feel used. They stay available to people who never earned access. But Machiavelli would see it clearly. Goodness without power is not virtue. It is permission. There is a kind of person everyone likes to call nice. They are easy to ask, easy to reach, easy to forgive, easy to pull back in. They apologize first, even when they were the ones who were hurt. They accept less than what they deserve, because asking for more feels dangerous. They reply quickly. They help quietly. They say, "It's okay," even when something inside them is not okay. They take on more work when they are already exhausted. They listen to everyone, but almost no one truly listens back. And people like them. But not always because they are deeply respected. Sometimes people like them because they are convenient, because they do not create friction, because they do not make access difficult, because they have trained the world to believe they will always be available. And this is where kindness begins to rot. When you become too easy to access, some people stop seeing your goodness as a gift. They start seeing it as a resource. This is the hidden pattern. Blind goodness. Not mature kindness, not moral strength, but fear-based goodness. A kind of goodness built around survival. This person is not choosing kindness from freedom. They are using kindness to avoid conflict. They become agreeable to keep connection. They become useful to feel safe. They tell themselves, "If I am good enough, no one will leave. If I am easy enough, no one will hate me. If I keep giving, someone will finally value me." But this is no longer goodness. It is a survival strategy that society rewards because it looks polite from the outside. You are not giving because you are free. You are giving because you are afraid of what will happen when you stop. Machiavelli would not ask, "Are you a good person?" He would ask something colder. Can your goodness protect itself? Because Machiavelli did not trust the image of virtue. He looked at results, power, boundaries, self-defense. In the real world, good intentions do not automatically protect you. Not everyone responds to kindness with gratitude. Some people respond to kindness by looking for the next place they can take more. If you have no boundary, they will draw one for you. If you cannot say no, they will treat your yes as default. If you are always available, your presence loses weight. And if you forgive too quickly, some people do not learn to change. They only learn that you can be pushed further. If this sounds familiar, write this down in the comments. My goodness needs boundaries. Because the problem is not that you are good. The problem is that your goodness has no teeth. Here is the first mechanism. What is always available slowly becomes invisible. People adapt quickly to what you keep giving. The first time you help, they are grateful. The second time, they feel lucky. The fifth time, they begin to expect it. The 10th time, they treat it as normal. And the first time you say no, they feel betrayed. Not because you did something wrong, but because you interrupted the version of you they were benefiting from. This is why endless kindness often creates entitlement, not appreciation. When your patience has no limit, people stop noticing it. When your forgiveness has no consequence, people stop respecting it. When your help is always available, it no longer feels like a gift. It starts to feel like a right. The second mechanism is quieter. Guilt. A person who is too nice does not always need to be forced. Sometimes, all it takes is silence. A disappointed look, a colder reply. A sentence like, "I thought you cared." And suddenly, they come back. Not because they want to, but because guilt has pulled the leash. They confuse guilt with conscience. But guilt is not always proof that you did something wrong. Sometimes, guilt appears because you are breaking an old role. The role of the easy one, the forgiving one, the one who stays available, the one who abandons themselves so everyone else can stay comfortable. So remember this: guilt does not always mean you betrayed someone. Sometimes, it means you finally stopped betraying yourself. Machiavelli said a wise person must learn from two animals, the fox and the lion. The fox sees the trap. The lion makes the wolves step back. And this is the tragedy of many good people. They have the fox. They see the pattern. They know who only appears when they need something. They know who uses their softness. They feel when something is wrong. They know when they are being pulled too far. But they do not have the lion. They cannot close the door. They cannot say no. They cannot let someone be disappointed without feeling guilty. So they see the trap and still walk into it. A fox without a lion can recognize danger and still become prey. This is the important turn. Nice and good are not the same thing. A nice person wants to be liked. They want peace, approval, no tension, no disappointment. So they avoid conflict. They apologize too quickly. They agree, while something inside them resists. They betray themselves, so the room can stay comfortable. But a good person is different. A good person has principles, boundaries, the courage to tell the truth, the strength to say no, the willingness to disappoint people, when disappointment is the price of integrity. A nice person is afraid of becoming the villain. A good person accepts that some people will call them the villain, the moment they are no longer easy to use. Because goodness is not the same as being pleasant, and peace is not real if it is built on your self-betrayal. Here is the dark truth. People learn from what you tolerate. Not everyone studies your words. Some people study your limits. They test a small boundary. If you do not respond, they move further. If you explain too much, they learn how to twist your explanation. If you forgive too quickly, they learn that consequences do not exist. If you always come back, they learn that you never really leave. People do not only learn from what you say, they learn from what you excuse, what you absorb, what you keep silent about, what you betray in yourself, just to keep them close. Every time you trade your boundary for closeness, you teach people that access to you is free. There is another truth most good people avoid. Your energy is not infinite. Your time, your attention, your emotional presence, these are not small things. They are resources. And every time you say yes to something that does not matter, you may be saying no to your own peace. Every time you say yes to someone else's chaos, you may be saying no to your own stability. Every time you say yes to protect the image of being a good person, you may be saying no to the person you are actually becoming. You cannot help everyone. You cannot rescue every emotion. You cannot soften every disappointment. And you cannot keep giving from an empty place without becoming resentful. Strategic goodness begins when you stop treating your life like an open account for everyone else to withdraw from. So what is strategic goodness? It is not becoming cold. It is not becoming selfish. It is not manipulation. And it is not punishing people with distance. Strategic goodness is kindness without self-betrayal. It means you can still be soft, but not weak. You can still be generous, but not unlimited. You can still help people, but not at the cost of abandoning yourself. Blind goodness asks, what will they think of me? Strategic goodness asks, is this aligned with my values? Blind goodness protects an image. Strategic goodness protects a principle. It knows that not everyone deserves the same access. Not every request deserves your yes. And not every relationship deserves your exhaustion. Real goodness is not weakness. It is generosity, with a spine. And this is where philosophy has to become behavior. First, before you say yes, pause. Ask yourself, do I actually want to do this? Or am I afraid of their disappointment? Am I choosing this? Or am I surrendering? Am I being kind? Or am I just trying to escape guilt? Because a yes only has value when no is possible. Second, stop making your presence free to everyone. Some people deserve closeness. Some people deserve distance. Some people deserve your help. And some people are only testing how much more they can take. The respectful person can receive your softness. The exploitative person must meet your boundary. Third, let your no have weight. Do not over-explain. Do not apologize for having limits. Do not turn your no into a long courtroom defense. Sometimes, one short refusal is stronger than 1,000 explanations. You do not need to convince people to respect your boundary. You only need to hold it long enough for them to understand you are serious. Now comes the boundary test. Watch what happens when you are no longer always available. Some people will respect it. Some people will punish you for it. That is the test. Not how they treat you when you give them what they want, but how they treat you when access to you is no longer guaranteed. If they are only kind when you agree, notice that. If they make you feel guilty for having limits, notice that. If they turn your no into proof that you are selfish, notice that. If they only respect you when you are useful, notice that. Some people do not want your goodness. They want your weakness. They want the version of you that is too afraid to close the door. The moment you set a boundary, you discover who values you and who only valued your usefulness. This is the identity shift. You do not become a worse person when you stop being easy to use. You become clearer. You are not selfish for protecting your energy. You are not cold for choosing who deserves access. You are not betraying your goodness by placing boundaries around it. You are protecting it. Because kindness without self-respect does not stay pure. It turns into resentment. And resentment is what happens when your mouth keeps saying yes, after your soul has already said no. So stop calling it kindness when it is quietly destroying you. Real goodness does not require your disappearance. It requires your presence, your honesty, your boundary, your spine. Machiavelli is not telling you to stop being good. He is warning you not to become good without self-defense. Keep the soft heart, but do not leave it without a door. Keep the fox so you can see the trap. But wake the lion so you do not keep walking into it. Be kind, but not harmless. Be generous, but not cheap. Be good, but not easy to control. Because your kindness should never become the door through which people gain power over you. It should come from choice, not fear, from principle, not guilt, from strength, not the desperate need to be liked. If this is the version of yourself you are becoming, write this in the comments. My kindness has a spine. And remember this, the world does not need you to become cruel. It needs you to stop abandoning yourself in the name of being good.